Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to do a tutorial on mixing hip hop hook vocals, or the chorus. We did one for the hip hop verse, and so I'm going to do the same kind of thing with this one, but I'm going to show you just the approach, some of the plugins I'm using, as well as just the general methodology in how we work on this. Hopefully it'll give you some tips to use in your own sessions, at least to put a rough mix on your tracks. And just kind of give you an idea of how to deal with the different layers and tracks in your session. So let's jump right in. This track is by my client Sicily. The song is called Lies. She had a feature on here, which you'll hear on the last verse, by an artist named Angie. All very talented artists. Be sure and check them out. But let me just go ahead and play this back and let you hear what we're going to work on. The verse is mixed, the hook is not, which is what we will be dealing with.
Black shoes and black suit. Your casket full of misery, a suicide noose. Bury it all.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the ground.
I'm talking about lies, lies in my head. All these thoughts inside it got me really going crazy. Talking about lies, lies in my head. Man, I think I'm tripping and I need someone to save me. Talking about lies.
All right, so it's a little hard to hear right now. Obviously, it's not mixed. This is how it came to me, but we're going to fix that. So the first thing that we want to do here, or that I'm going to do, is I like to kind of strip out all of the dead space in our layers. So there could be anything from like headphone bleed to breathing that is unnecessary to the performance, whatever it is, we want to take that out. So this is one of the more tedious processes in mixing, but I think it's very important. So let's just go ahead and let me get our mixer out of the way and get our zoom set. And you can just drag the layers of dead stuff there. You know, the really empty spaces, just drag them, but we're going to go in and kind of just silence the in-between stuff manually with our marquee tool here. And you can use a similar tool in any of the DAWs, but we'll just select this stuff and we're just going to mute it. And this is just something I've been doing for a long time. Actually, a rapper that I was working with a long time ago, when I first started, he used to do this, and I just started doing it, and it makes a big difference, especially when you have a lot of layers. We don't have a ton of layers in this hook, but they do stack up. So if you've got some dead air, if you've got headphone bleed, or maybe it's going through a preamp that's kind of noisy, whatever it may be, if you've got a lot of tracks that have that noise on them, then eventually it will start to add up. So you want to be careful not to cut off anything important here. I'm going a little bit quickly, but that should do it. Let me just play it back here. Let's just mute everything else. Excuse me, we'll solo all our hook layers and just make sure my cuts are clean.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
Cool. So let me just play back what I muted. You'll hear some headphone bleed, maybe some breathing a little bit.
Lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going.
Yeah, so a little breath, lip smack or whatever. Some headphone bleed there. Good to get rid of that stuff. And again, be really careful. You don't want to silence breaths that, kind of fill the space in a good way. You want to be careful so you don't affect the performance in that way. I'm not really one for cutting out every single breath or anything like that, but just want to get rid of all that, that clustered stuff that's not going to work well in our mix. So we've done that. The next thing I want to do is, before I touch any effects, I don't want to do any compression, any EQ or anything until I have at least a rough blend, just a rough mix really of all of our layers. So I'm going to go down here and first just figure out what we've got. Okay, so just play back the layers, and I've already got these labeled.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
All right, so that's our main layer.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my
Second layer and the third.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it.
Okay, so these are all the same kind of performance. They're different takes. It's the same performance, right? So we're gonna deal with those the same way. So just in my mind, I'm already thinking I'm gonna bust those together since we don't have anything too crazy. If she had harmonies, like a high harmony or a low harmony, or just kind of a different take that she was adding to the mains, then I would process those differently. But for this one, we're just going to run them to the same bus since they're the same. Then we have these 3 low layers, which are the same kind of deal. It's the same performance per se, but different takes.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it.
Okay.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do.
So let me mute those, or we'll just take them down. And I want to just mix our 3 main layers initially.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
I'm talking about lies, lies in my head. Tie, black suit, baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it.
All right, so first thing, the signal's a little soft, and so I want to have some more space on my mixer, a little bit more headroom to mess with. So I'm just going to bring everything up like 7 dB, and then just pull these back a little. Oh, this one's on read. Okay.
Baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way.
Okay, so I'm a big believer in symmetrical mixing, meaning when I pan stuff, I like it to be even, especially on main layers. For instance, with these 3 layers, I want to keep one in the center, because if you go to mono, which a lot of people are listening these days in mono, whether it's on a phone speaker or they're in the other room or whatever, that's technically it's listening to it in mono. So you want to make sure that you have something that's dead center. Especially in a main layer like this for the hook. So I'm going to leave that one, and then I want to add some width. So I'm going to take these 2 layers and I'm going to just pan them a little bit. And you just kind of do it by ear, and you don't want to go too wide with it. You don't want to get to where you have phasing issues.
Baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some.
Oh, there's logic.
Baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
I'm talking about.
I'm gonna add a little bit more gain to these, and this is fine. They're soft as long as they're not clipping. Just so I've got a little more room with the faders.
Baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
Okay, so now we'll start pulling in our low hook layers. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pan 2 of them, leave 1 dead center.
Baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
I'm talking about lies, baby, you know.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grave.
So I went a little wider with those, but that sounds like a pretty good blend to start with. And again, you're just trying to make sure that you achieve that vibe first before you start putting effects on. I think it can be tempting to start, just throwing compression, EQ, and all that other stuff at it initially, but definitely want to get the vibe down. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to start bussing some of our layers. So these 3, remember, I was saying we want to deal with these as a group. So I'm going to throw those to a bus here, bus 2. And then I'm going to, I would probably deal with these lows separately, but for the way that I want to blend this hook, I want it to sound cohesive and not really separate the lows too much. They're just kind of adding a little bit of thickness. So I'm just going to throw all these to the same bus, which is bus 2. Okay, so before we get into our actual effects on the bus, I want to go ahead and show you what I did in terms of pitch correction and just vocal tuning. The client Sicily did ask that I do a little bit of pitch correction. And I know when people hear auto-tune, they're thinking that it's going to be like a really T-Pain, really dramatic effect. I didn't do it on this track like that at all. If the client wanted that, I would do it. But generally, I'm not using auto-tune for that effect. It's more just to blend things, and it just makes the layers sit better for me when I'm blending. So I'm going to show you how I use that. I also did Melodyne on this just to tune one word, and I could do that in auto-tune with the graphical mode. I'm just not a big fan of the auto-tune interface, or at least the one I have. I haven't tried the new auto-tune, but anyway, I'm going to show you how I use both of those in tandem to tune this track. As far as Melodyne goes, I just used it for this last phrase, or really one syllable.
This one's going with me to the grave.
It's just that first part of grave. And there was one layer in particular that was a little bit sharp.
This one's going with me to the grave.
Yeah, it's that one. So I just tuned them all with Melodyne, and I'll show you how we do that. We just pull out our Melodyne track, and I'm going to transfer that phrase in.
This one's going with me to the grave. I'm talking about lies.
So we'll get that in. And again, this was okay. Let's just center the pitch just to make it a little smoother. And then I'm going to print that because I'm not a big fan of leaving Melodyne in my sessions. It saves files externally, and so I like to have everything within my project folder. So I just do this, and that way if I need to go back, I can, but I've got the print. So we want to bypass any effects at this point. All right, so that's printed, and what I'm going to do is the exact same thing on these other tracks here. So we'll just throw Melodyne on, and this is the layer that was a little bit sharp. Oop.
This one's going with me to the grave.
Cool. So we're just going to bring that note down a little bit. And that should do it.
This one's going with me to the grave.
Cool. All right, one more here. Let me print that. And let's do this one real quick. Let me take Melodyne off of these and throw it on this last one. Yeah, tuning is a little bit more of a tedious process, but when you do it right, it does help.
Lies. This one's going with me to the grave.
Transfer that.
This one's going with me to the grave. I'm talking about lies.
Okay. Let's see.
This one's going with me to the grave. This one's going with me to the grave.
Okay. Print that one, and we should be good to go. So now we've got all those layers that, again, I just wanted to tune that one word on. So for the example, I'm just going to throw these on this track so that it's easier to mix. And we can get rid of these. Okay.
Yo, so tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. one's going with me to the grave.
I'm talking about lies in
Cool. Now we want to put on a little bit of auto tune on all the layers, just again to make the blend a little smoother. And I've already got a couple of instances of auto tune with my scale settings. This is in C minor. And what I've done here is turned up the humanize a little bit because again, we don't want that share type of effect. I'll show you, if we just crank up the retune speed, turn down humanize, we'll get that.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some.
Yeah, so we don't want that. We're going to humanize it, turn down the retune speed.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these
All right, that sounds good. Sounds pretty natural. Just keeping the pitch in check there. And I'm just going to put this on all of my hook layers, except not the rap. And let's see what that sounds like.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubted. This one's going with me to the grave.
I'm talking about lies in
Check that last phrase.
Grave, grave, grave.
Yeah, so that brought it in a little bit. And so the pitch correction sounds pretty good, and we're ready to jump into our effects processing here. Okay, so now we're ready to start throwing in some effects on our bus here. So we've got everything on bus 2, and the first thing I want to do is load up my EQ, and I want to turn on the analyzer just so that I can see, in addition to hear, obviously, what's going on.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm
Already I'm noticing that there is a lot of stuff going on below 100 hertz that's just eating up headroom. It's not benefiting anything in our mix. So let's just go ahead and low cut all that stuff.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubted. This one's going.
Next thing is there was a bump up here in the 300 to 400 hertz range. And I find in vocals that can just kind of be a little bit murky. And if it doesn't sound good, I go ahead and cut it out. And in this case, I'm going to do that.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way.
All right, so now we have a pretty good starting point for a signal to send into our compressor. So that's going to be the next thing. We're going to go ahead and choose this Fab filter, Pro C. We use this in the other tutorial. It's a really good compressor to start with, and has a lot of useful features here. And it's visual. You can see what's going on. Pretty good one for the beginners out there.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some.
And I'm just going to mess with the threshold here and figure out at what point I want the compressor to engage.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubted. This one's going with me to the.
Adjusting the ratio, attack and release. Again, I'm not going to explain compression in this video, but just going to do everything by ear here real quick.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way.
Release time, again, how quickly the compressor is going to recover from the gain reduction.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my.
And down here we have an indicator showing us exactly how much gain reduction we are doing.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at.
And then I'm going to mix in a little bit of the dry signal. I like this feature of this compressor.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubted. This one.
That feels pretty good to me. Everything's blended pretty well. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and do a little bit of hyping our high end just a touch. just to give it that brightness and sheen. So I'll put on the SSL.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting.
So I just boosted up here around 10K, and we did it at what, like about 4 dB, which is a pretty nice boost there. And as you can hear, again, it kind of made our S's a little bit harsh, a little sibilant. So we're just going to throw on a de-esser just to tame that, which I do this a lot. The SSL it has a really nice high-end boost, but then it does make vocals a little bit more sibilant. So I kind of counteract that with a de-esser right after it. So we'll load that up. Some of these presets and waves are a good starting point, but you're going to want to kind of play with it. We'll use this side chain just to listen to what exactly it's doing.
And I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grind.
I'm talking about lies.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way.
All right, that feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and send a bus out to some reverb here. And I've already got a bus, I believe, set up. Yeah, so that's going to be over here. And I'm going to use the lexicon. I like using this for hooks. It just has a smooth sound to it and adds a nice space.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some.
Already we can tell it's just a little too big, so we're going to EQ some of the highs as well as our lows.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way.
And then we'll take the reverb time down.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grind.
I'm talking about lies.
So it just adds a little space there.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way.
And then let's just add a little bit of width with a fast delay. So I already have a bus set up for that as well, and that's on bus 4. And my favorite delay would have to be the Echo Boy. I really like this plugin. Just a lot of options here, a lot of flavors and tones to use. So let's go ahead and lock in our tempo. And that's one thing I've noticed is sometimes it doesn't correctly do that. So we'll just type it in.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grind.
I'm talking about.
And one thing I hear a lot in some, people who aren't big mix guys is a little bit too much delay. So we don't want to go overboard with it. The delay should really just add some space. And for me, this is just going to add width more than you really noticing the delay.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me.
So let's just bring these cuts a little bit, just to have it sitting back.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grind.
I'm talking about lies in my.
All right, that sounds pretty smooth. So let's go ahead and move on here to the rap layer. And we've got that running to a different bus. We're not doing any auto tune on it, obviously. But let's just go ahead and start processing that one. That one's on bus 5, which is over here. So first thing, again, we're going to do our just utility EQ.
I'm talking about lies in my head.
Again, cutting those lows and probably a little bit at the 300 to 400 range again.
To the grind.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and
not as much of a bump there, so we don't have to deal with that as much as we did with the singing section.
To the grind, I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me.
So we'll cut just a touch there. And then let's go ahead and throw on our compressor.
To the grind, I'm talking about lies in my head. To the grind, I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies in my head. Man, I think I'm tripping and I need someone to save me. To the grind, I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really.
All right, Logic's giving up on me here, but
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside.
compressor feels pretty good. You can already tell that the S's are quite harsh, so I'm going to go ahead and de-S that before we do any kind of boosting in the EQs, if we do.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies in my head. Man, I think I'm tripping and I need someone to save me. Talking.
One thing I want to do is just add something to make this a little wider and stand out a little bit. Since she gave me one layer, there's less to work with, but I don't want it to sound like the rap verses. So I want it to, I want to differentiate those. So I'm going to add the Waves Meta Flanger, which I've been using quite a bit, to add this subtle, kind of like a width, gritty effect. It's based off of this preset Ampex 440. I don't like it with the mix up because it's too much. I'll let you hear that.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these.
That sounds more like a flanger, typical flanger, but if I turn the mix down pretty low.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies in my head.
It kind of just adds a little bit of dirt to it, right? And a little bit of the flange kind of width thing, but it almost sounds almost like a distortion in a way to me. But I like what that does, and then we're gonna make it a little wider. One of my favorite plugins is this Dr. MS, so we'll use that. And there's a plugin called Mono to Stereo, which is pretty cool, and we can just adjust our percentage here.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies in my head. Man, I think I'm tripping and I need someone to save me. Talking about lies.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the ground.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy.
All right, that sounded pretty good. I want to go ahead and put just a fast delay onto that. So let's run that out to another bus. I think I've got one for that as well. That is bus 6, right? Yep. So here, and we're gonna do just an H delay, probably 1/16, just something fast, ping pong, just to give it a little more width.
So tell me what I'm supposed to do about it. Looking at my situation, feeling some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the ground.
I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies in my head. Man, I think I'm tripping and I need someone to save me. Talking about. I'm talking about lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies in.
And then let's put a little bit of our reverb from the hook, just a touch, so that they blend.
This one's going with me to the ground. I'm talking about
some type of way. All these lies and I guess I'm doubting. This one's going with me to the grind.
I'm talking about lies, lies in my head. All these thoughts inside and got me really going crazy. Talking about lies, lies in my head. Man, I think I'm tripping and I need someone to save me. Talking about lies.
All right, everybody. So that feels pretty good. We went through our mix of our hook, and we did some pitch corrections, some tuning, blending our layers, sending everything to a bus, making sure that everything fit in the right space. Did some EQ, some compression, dealt with stereo width. We also had a wrap layer in our hook, and we looked at how to differentiate that between our just normal rap verses, added a unique effect, and then also messed with the stereo width to make that really pop. So hope these techniques might be helpful in your own sessions so that you can get some good rough mixes and also just process some of the layers there, figure out what you're working with, what might be needed. That's also a great thing about mixing when you're in the studio. If you do a little bit of it, you can listen and say, all right, well, maybe the song is calling for something additionally after I've heard it mixed. That can be helpful. So again, if there's anything that you want to know more about or you have questions about, feel free to let me know, and we'll talk to you soon.
I'm running this races, I look in his face and I'm searching for grace and this place is a mess. Lies killing me, filling me,